Just as CNN reports, two U.S. Air Force bombers flew dangerously close to Venezuela this week, only about 45 miles from the country's main international airport. It's the latest sign of growing tension between Washington and Caracas. Early Monday morning, two B-1 Lancer bombers took off from Grand Forks Air Force Base in North Dakota. After almost 9 hours in the air, they appeared off the Venezuelan coast, flying parallel to the shoreline before disappearing from radar. They came within about 45 miles of the capital region, closer than any U.S. bomber has flown in recent years. No air defense systems were activated, and according to CNN's reporter in Caracas, the skies remained quiet. But make no mistake, this was a show of strength. Why would the United States send two heavy bombers that close to Venezuela? The official line is that these missions demonstrate readiness and the ability to respond to any regional threat. But many analysts see it as part of a larger strategy, a massive U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean. Let's talk about the aircraft that carried out this mission, the B-1 Lancer. This isn't a new plane. It first entered service back in the 1980s, but it remains one of the most powerful bombers ever built. It's huge, about 146 feet long, with swing wings that adjust for high speed or long-range flight. It can fly faster than the speed of sound and travel thousands of miles without landing, even farther with aerial refueling. Each bomber costs around $300 million, and operating one costs more than $60,000 per flight hour. The B-1 carries an enormous payload, over 125,000 pounds of weapons, making it one of the heaviest strike aircraft in the world. And although it was once designed to carry nuclear weapons, today it's focused entirely on conventional missions. There are only about 60 active B-1s in the U.S. inventory. They're often deployed for long-range training or to send political messages, like this one. Imagine the scene. Two sleek, supersonic bombers cruising just miles off a foreign coastline, fully capable of striking anywhere in the region. It's not subtle. It's meant to be seen. This isn't the first flight of its kind. Earlier this month, US B-52 bombers flew more than 100 miles off the Venezuelan coast. A few days later, another B-1 made a similar run, staying inside Venezuelan-controlled airspace for about 15 minutes. And now, these two B-1s have flown even closer than before. Step by step, the flights have moved nearer, and each one sends a louder signal. Is Washington testing Venezuela's defenses? Or simply reminding Caracas that the U.S. can reach its airspace whenever it wants? At the same time, a far larger movement is taking shape, not just in the air, but at sea. Along with the bombers, the U.S. Navy is deploying its most powerful warship to the region, the Gerald R. This is the newest and largest aircraft carrier in the world, a 1,092-foot-long nuclear-powered city at sea. It carries more than 75 aircraft, including stealth fighters, helicopters, and surveillance planes. So what does it mean when a ship like this sails into the Caribbean? It means presence. It means readiness. It means the U.S. can conduct air operations for weeks or even months without relying on local bases. And that's not all. The Gravely, a guided missile destroyer, has just docked in Trinidad and Tobago, only a short distance from Venezuelan waters. Officially, it's there for joint exercises and cooperation with local forces. Unofficially, it's another piece of a much larger puzzle. The Gravely is armed with advanced radar systems, anti-air missiles, and Tomahawk cruise missiles capable of striking targets hundreds of miles away. It operates as part of a larger task force that could support the Gerald R. Ford carrier or provide independent strike capability. So now, picture this: a U.S. supercarrier, a missile destroyer nearby, and long-range bombers in the sky. That's not a routine patrol. That's a show of coordinated power. So, what's the message behind all this? For the United States, it's about deterrence and influence. It's a signal to say, we're watching. We're here. Don't test us. For Venezuela, it's a provocation, a move that challenges its sovereignty and increases the risk of a misunderstanding in the skies or at sea. Both sides insist they don't want conflict, but the closer these flights and ships come, the smaller the margin for error becomes. Could a radar lock, a misinterpreted maneuver, or even a communication glitch lead to escalation? That's the risk when military assets operate this close. These movements are part of a broader strategy to reassert U.S. dominance in the Western Hemisphere. After years of focusing attention on Europe and the Pacific, Washington is turning its eyes south again. The Caribbean is becoming an active military zone once more, a theater where alliances are tested and power is displayed. The Ford Carrier Strike Group, the Gravely destroyer, and the bomber patrols together show an unmistakable pattern. Air, sea, and regional cooperation all moving into place. The goal seems clear: to project strength, maintain presence, and remind everyone that the United States can act far beyond its borders. But here's the real question: is this just posturing, or the prelude to something bigger? In the coming weeks, the United States could take several new steps to reinforce its presence. Additional Navy ships, including destroyers, amphibious assault vessels, or support ships, may join the Gerald R. Ford Carrier Group in the Caribbean. Surveillance aircraft like the P-8 Poseidon could start regular patrols across the region, and more B-1 or B-52 bombers might carry out long-range training missions similar to the recent ones. The U.S. could also deploy F-35 stealth fighters to nearby bases such as Puerto Rico or other allied territories, expanding its air coverage. Each of these moves would strengthen what military planners call persistent presence, a way of keeping pressure without firing a single shot. The question now is, how far will Washington go to make its message clear? Every move has meaning. Every flight path and every port call tells part of the story. 2 bombers flying near Venezuela may seem like a routine mission, but in the context of rising regional tension, it's something else entirely. The U.S. wants to demonstrate that it can reach anywhere in the hemisphere, anytime. It's not about war. It's about visibility, deterrence, and pressure. But as history shows, shows of force sometimes create the very tension they're meant to prevent. So, where does this go next? Will we see more bomber flights in the coming weeks? Will more U.S. ships move into the region? And how will Venezuela respond? For now, both nations seem to be watching each other carefully. But one thing is clear: the skies and waters of the Caribbean haven't seen this much U.S. military activity in years. Each mission, each movement, adds another layer to a tense and uncertain picture. As CNN pointed out, those 2 bombers came within just 45 miles of Venezuela's main airport. And that in itself says everything about how close this situation has become, not just in distance, but in danger. If you found this breakdown interesting, remember to like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on the world's evolving military and geopolitical tensions.